All right, let's get comfortable. Okay. Hey everybody, it's Katrina, and it has been a long while since I've filmed my last reflections video, so I'm feeling honestly both excited and a little bit nervous to be sitting here recording and chatting with you all. But I just wanted to start off by saying thank you so much to everyone who watched my last video or read my latest post about me quitting my teaching job. The amount of love and support and encouragement that I've received from family, friends, peers, strangers, my students, it has just been so touching. And if I didn't respond back, it's just because I was feeling kind of like a ball of vulnerability afterward, where I felt a little overwhelmed, but I really appreciated just every single comment, every message. And I want to thank you for making space for my story, for sharing your thoughts and your story if you have, and yeah, just feeling so much gratitude for all of you. So thank you so much. For this video, like all my other reflection videos, I'm going to be using the Passion Planner reflection questions, but I do have a new prompt at the very end, so hopefully you all enjoy that one. It was actually an idea by my boyfriend Ryan. And like always, please feel free to pause the video to reflect along with me and to share your comments, your reflections, your feedback in the comments below. I really love hearing what you all think. So the first question is, what was the most memorable part of January, and describe it? So as you might have expected, I wrote here, quitting teaching job, that's the middle of the bubble. And I just wrote, it was a huge decision, feeling lost and uncertain of my future, long-term career goals, but I feel so grateful for the support. I feel vulnerable. I feel very thankful. I put here that it feels like a post-breakup heartbreak where I want the relationship to work out, but there are so many red flags, sad face. Like, I want teaching to work out. I want to be a teacher. Yet, there are so many red flags to the profession. There are so many systemic and structural issues, and I don't think they will get solved even if I move schools. And there were so many great things about the school that I was in and the position that I was in too, yet I was still in this place where I couldn't be happy and I couldn't really take care of myself. And I think, like many first-year teachers, especially right now, I would just keep thinking, am I having such a difficult time because it's my first year and everybody says the first year is just super hard regardless? Is it the pandemic? Is it the school? Is it the subjects I'm teaching? Is it me? Like, am I just not cut out for this? And I didn't know, but all I knew is that I wasn't at a place where I could take care of myself. I wasn't at a place where I had time or energy for myself, and it was just soul sucking. And I still feel like I find myself wanting to make it work out, and I'm wondering, like, you know, how many more chances do I give it? And I feel like this pressure, like, even if I choose a new school, I don't necessarily see myself teaching until retirement, even in the perfect setting. And part of me is like, how many times do you get to quit teaching, you know? So I don't know, I'm very lost right now. The last point that I wrote here was that there was a lot of internal reflection on my own inferiority complex and how it played a role in teaching and creating the environment and experience that I had. So I deal with some very deep-rooted, since childhood, insecurities and inferiority complex, and I don't want to get so much into detail about it because it is quite an emotional topic for me, but I think it played a big role in why I couldn't feel like I could be that confident in what I was doing at work. And it was really interesting because I had this conversation with my colleagues after I quit. I really opened up to them and just said, like, I feel like how I viewed myself and the things that I dealt with mentally and internally really helped shape my experience and environment in relation to other people. I think because of that, it became a toxic environment for me. Not because it was a traditionally toxic environment. There were so many great things and so many great people, but I think there were just so many things living in my own head that it made it so that I couldn't feel that good about what I was doing. And I feel grateful to be able to have opened up and to see that they also felt similar things. And I just thought that was a really interesting realization that what we bring into the spaces really helps dictate how we experience it and the kind of environment that is created. Of course, I think there could have been a lot of different things that were done to help, despite what I was dealing with. Like, I don't want to put the blame on myself for the things that I've internalized and brought in. But I think it's like, multiple factors playing a part. So that's just something I want to delve deeper into during my own time and spend some more time looking in and thinking about it. And for the last point for the first question, I just wanted to talk about my newish job. It's not super new, but it is expanded. So if you don't know, for the past like 1.5 years, I've been working for Plain Products, which is a refillable plastic-free shampoo and conditioner brand that I love a lot. I started as a social media coordinator in the fall of 2020, and then I enjoyed it so much that once I started teaching, I still wanted to work with them. And so I became social media manager, and I was working less hours because I was teaching, but I really enjoyed it. And after I quit teaching, I talked with my bosses, and now I'm working full-time with them. And I'm really excited because now I'm able to spend more time doing some of the things that I didn't have time to do while I was teaching. Outside of work as well, I now have more time to spend creating content and building, my own platforms and doing stuff I enjoy, which I'm really excited about, which I feel is like the perfect segue to introduce the sponsor of this portion of the video, Green Eco Dream. Green Eco Dream is an online marketplace that carries sustainable alternatives. I first heard of them when I entered their giveaway on Instagram early last year. I won these Kushu plastic-free hair ties, and I really love them, and I've been following Green Eco Dream ever since, and I just felt like I was getting to know the small business. And so I reached out to them last fall asking if we can collaborate, but I was really being ambitious, thinking that I could do that on top of teaching, and I couldn't. And so I'm finally able to circle back. So I'm really excited that they still wanted to work with me. So thank you so much to Snow and her partner Milos. They founded Green Eco Dream because they sat down, right, just like I am, and reflected on the problem that they saw. They saw a lot of plastic pollution, and they wanted to be part of that solution to offer plastic-free alternatives. But if you have tried diving into the space of trying to reduce plastic, you'll know that there is so much greenwashing out there where brands are saying one thing, right? They're promising to be greener, they promise to care for the planet, yet on the other side, they're not paying their workers fairly, or they're still mass producing, they're throwing things away in the global south. There's just so much greenwashing out there, and Snow and Milos really wanted to create a marketplace so that shoppers can feel confident knowing that they're supporting brands and products that truly care about people and the planet. So if being more sustainable or intentional about your purchases, or if you're just looking to maybe start dabbling in plastic-free alternatives, or just learning more about this if this is your first time hearing about it, I would encourage you to check them out in the description box, and to always remember that it doesn't need to be all or nothing. I think that's a huge mistake that I made when I first started my sustainability journey, was thinking that I needed to get rid of all the plastic in my house. But through the years, I've become much more kind to myself and much more forgiving, and I feel like I'm at a place now where I feel happy with where I am in the journey, but I'm constantly learning, unlearning, and making progress too. So I'm just super excited to have you all along this journey with me, and if you are looking to start, I'm gonna leave the links below and hope you check them out. So on to question number 2. What are the 3 biggest lessons you've learned? So the first one, it's not so much a lesson, but a reframing and reminder for myself that the classroom is not the only place for me to educate and make an impact on others. I can do that through my YouTube videos or Instagram posts or just like day-to-day interactions as well. And I put here that even if a video gets 150 views, which I think a lot of people would see that like, wow, that's not a lot, that's a failed video. And I find myself feeling that way too. But I had to really think about it. Like, that's the number of students I have. So if I can have 150 people click my video and watch it, that is such a feat. And maybe that is leaving an impact on, the same amount of people. Of course, not in the same way, but I just don't want to slip into that myth that the classroom and my professional life is the only place I can make a difference or make an impact. I think that would just be a really dangerous and unhealthy way to think for myself. The second lesson is that I'm getting better at critically evaluating and assessing whether or not I agree with something, even if it comes from someone I respect, whether it's someone I know in person or like an educator, an activist online. And I think this is such an important skill and one that I'm really proud of because I have always been someone who is just so easily influenced, where I hear something, I read something, and I'm just like, huh, yes, I agree, or oh, I just go and run with that. And so to hear something from someone that I respect or that I've agreed with in the past and think, you know, for this, I don't really agree, or they actually don't know enough about me to actually say that, or I just don't think that that applies, is just something very new to me, and I want to continue practicing that. So yeah. Third lesson is something that I said in my last video, but it's just come up so much, so I want to give it some more space. And it is that we can know one thing is true and hold conflicting thoughts and feelings. Things are rarely ever black and white, and that's okay. I think I need to really learn that it's okay to sit in disequilibrium, even though it's our natural instinct to get out of that, right? To get out of that dissonance by either changing our thoughts or our actions. But it's something that I need to remind myself, it's okay to feel those conflicting things. And I think when we bring in intersectionality and cultural backgrounds, there are a lot of conflicting things happening all the time, and it just brings more peace to ourselves when we're okay with sitting with that discomfort and that conflict. Third question is, look back at the planner for the last month and assess your priorities. Are you happy with how you spent your time? And if not, what steps can you take next month to adjust? For January, I wanted to allow myself time to rest and not rush so immediately into trying to figure things out in terms of my job and stuff like that. I feel like I semi-succeeded, but I could definitely do better. I feel lost and conflicted, as I said. I feel grateful and uneasy, right? I allowed myself to rest, yet I feel like I'm already running on so many ideas. Like, I jumped into starting to work full time, and then I started like, ooh, I want to do this. I want to work with this brand. And I feel like I need to let myself slow down and actually just sit and think about what it is I want, and to just slow down from all those ideas sometimes. I really did just meh about it, and I think it's an ongoing process that I'm gonna need to do month after month after month. 4. How were you different between January and December? Compared to December, in January I definitely felt lighter. I think in December teachers are in that 3-week period between Thanksgiving and winter break that is just, it's a crawl to get to that winter break finish line. But there were also so many sweet and joyful moments leading up to the holidays. I remember towards the days leading up to winter break, I just felt so warm, the interactions that I had with students, because things were a little bit more relaxed. But there was always this stress looming over me that kept me from really being fully present during winter break. And I think it got really bad towards the end, which is not unique to me. And I'm not saying that that was an indication to quit, because I think it's normal to feel dread as you're approaching the end of your break. But January has just gone by so quickly, and although I do feel lost, like I've said, I also feel really brave and powerful and just much more relaxed, and it feels really nice. Next question is, what or who are you especially grateful for in this past month? The first one I put here is that I'm grateful for weekends. For the first time in a long time, weekends are truly my own, and I feel like it's just a time for me to chill, right? To sleep in, to do errands, to do chores and clean, to hang out with family, Ryan, my friends. It's just like, wow, the entire weekend is mine, up until Sunday night even. It's a monumental and refreshing feeling. 2, I'm really grateful for Ryan, again, but truly this guy has been here with me through it all, just supporting me. No one really knows the experience I had besides myself, and then he would be the next person that knows the most, because he's just been there with me listening. And it wasn't until after I quit that I realized how hard I was to be around for the last 6 months. And when I talked to him about it afterwards, after listening to this podcast and hearing that so many significant others of teachers end up in a really bad place because of how negative the teacher is, he noticed that, and it was really difficult to be around me. But he said if it had continued going on, we would break up with the job and not each other. And that was just something that was really, it just hit quite hard for me, and I just felt really grateful for that. 3rd, I'm thankful for support, right, from family, parents, friends, peers, strangers, colleagues. I'm just so blown away. And I couldn't have done it without my trailblazer friends. So to those of you that I talked to leading up to my decision, thank you so much for leading the way, for giving me tips, for listening. And I'm just so thankful that an overwhelming majority of the responses that I've been getting have been so supportive. And that truly has made a world of a difference. So thank you. Being vulnerable isn't easy, even though it's what I prefer and what I gravitate towards. But you all have really, really touched me. And although sometimes I feel overwhelmed, I just am so thankful for all your thoughts, all your words, all your messages. So thank you. The last thing that I have to talk about is that I'm so, so grateful for the Korean variety show, Mama the Idol. So I'm gonna get into kind of like some details, but I was a major K-pop fan in middle school and high school and like the beginning of college. And my favorite girl group was the Wonder Girls. But the leader, Sunyi, she left in like 2011 to get married, have kids, and she like lives in Canada now. And Wonder Girls as a whole disbanded in 2016. But I still follow them, me and my sister, like we love them. We still follow all of their individual activities. And this show, Mama the Idol, brought back a bunch of second generation K-pop idols that were moms and had them form a girl group. And I kid you not, I've been watching it with Ryan and it has just brought so many emotions. It has been over a decade since most of them have performed, and I realized it's been over a decade since I've had these super fangirl feelings seeing the second generation K-pop idols together on stage again. It is just so emotional and I feel so sad that it's ending. But on top of that as well, I feel like it is just the best show because it is so inspiring to women, to mothers, all around, because the K-pop industry is not one that is friendly to women, and it makes them seem as once you get married and have kids, like your career is over. But these 6 moms are so badass, they are so talented, they're so strong, and they are rocking it on stage on top of still taking care of their kids. And I just feel like it is such an inspiration to see, and it is so awesome. I've been like crying watching it with Ryan, and he's really into it too. It's just overall an amazing, amazing show and bringing back all my fangirl feelings. Okay, next question is name 3 things you can improve on this upcoming month. What are concrete action items you can take to work towards this? So the first one is time. Work from home is not something I'm very good at, and so I need to really work on structuring my days, especially when it comes to waking up and getting out of bed. I've been a little better in these past couple days, but I have this really bad habit of just staying in bed, especially because I could do a lot of work on my phone. And I just need to be more firm with myself. And then second thing I want to improve on is to pour more into Ryan. I feel like in these past, honestly in the past 4.5 years together, we have poured much more into me because he's more low maintenance than I, but like I've told my therapist too, I really want to help make space for us to also help him find his happiness and peace too, and to pour more into him. So that's something that we're trying to work on. And then 3 is to learn more and consume new things. I think I've said this before, but I'm a creature of habit. I watch the same things, I read the same things, and I've read that that's like a habit of people with high anxiety, but I want to just branch out a little bit more, whether it's like podcasts, books, YouTube videos, articles. It doesn't need to be drastic, but I just want to like sprinkle certain new things in as I'm walking or just going about my days. A couple of podcasts that I've listened to in the past 6 months since my last reflection videos have been Asian Boss Girl, Teacher Career Coach, that helps teachers like transition out, and sometimes the Content Creatives podcast. For the last question, Ryan had this idea to pull some quotes that really stuck out to me in January. I love this prompt and I had so many different ones, but I'm just gonna put them on the slide. This first excerpt is from an Instagram post I saw, and the poster was talking more about gender roles and sexual orientation, LGBTQ community, but I think it could just be applicable to so many different things. And I especially like the part where they say that assuming we know something about anything is actually likely a place where we need to unlearn or relearn. When I find myself making any kind of assumption about anything or anyone, I take that as an invitation to slow down. And later on in the quote, it talks about how it is not our job to manage the perceptions of others. And I think that's just something that I really want to sit with and think about. Another quote is this one about imposter syndrome and stuff like that, and it's another one that I feel like I really want to try to take and learn, take into my heart. And then this other one is one that I saw over winter break that really stuck with me. And it was, I hope that this year you find the opposite of dread in all that you do, by a fellow teacher. And I just want to share the last one. I think this is a beautiful quote that my friend shared with me about friendship, and how friendship is the most underrated relationship, one that is not tied together by kids or by sex or by other money, other things that were said in this quote that I can't quite remember, but I'm gonna put it up here. And I just thought, that is so beautiful and that is so true. And I'm so grateful to have a close group of friends who I just cherish so much. Okay, I made it before the battery died on me. All right, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope that your year has been off to a good start. And again, thank you so much. If you made it to the end of these long, rambly videos, thank you so much. Please let me know what you think in the comments or in the messages or whatever. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.